Another thing that you can do, I might as well throw this in right now, is called a syntactic study. Synthesis study. I learned that in college, and we had to do a synthesis study on a passage of Scripture. And look it up online. What is a biblical synthesis study? And if you can't find it, maybe I can send you some information on it. But it will help you to chart out, ask questions of the Bible, come to conclusions, map it out this way. And it is a marvelous tool. I don't use it ever for my sermons. I mean, it's just too much, there's just too much going on. I do the way I do with BibleHub.com. But if you want to understand a passage, you do a synthesis study and you will have a very good grasp on what that passage is about. When we were told to do a synthesis study, the Professor Beaumont, he said, what I want you to do is I want you to send me the passage that you want to do a synthesis study on so that I can approve it. He didn't want you picking something like, Obadiah verse 27 or something. He wanted, something that's really, really going to challenge you. And so he said, send the passage and I will approve it. And I thought, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put him on the spot. I emailed him back and I said, Professor Beaumont, I want you to decide what passage you want me to do. Pick the hardest one that you want. And he came back and he said, I've always wanted to know about the head coverings of women. I want you to do that passage. And I've got the synthesis study. If you want it, I'll email it to you. It is completely not what people think. People are talking about all kinds of bizarre things in there, bonnets and this. Listen, it is so obvious what Paul is telling us. The Lord is telling us through Paul. It is very obvious, okay? Man has long hair, it's a shame. If a woman has short hair, it's a shame and all that. What is he saying? Because who had long hair in the Bible? I'm talking about men. Samson had long hair. Who else? John the Baptist was a Nazarite. He wouldn't have cut his...
David's boy.
Well, yeah, David's boy. What's his name? Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he had... How much did he sell his hair for? Every year he cut it and he sold it. How much? Come on!
20 pounds of hair.
But how much did he sell it for? It's very specific in the Bible. They ask that question. I mean, 200 shekels. You were very close. You were multiple of 10. But there's a reason why 200 shekels is listed there. The number 200 in Scripture will always signify insufficiency. So if you remember the meaning of numbers, then you can get what the Lord is telling us about the passage. Insufficiency. Absalom, that's right. Okay? So that's telling you something. I know we're getting out of Galatians, but we're learning about how to study the Bible. Where else is 200 used in the Bible? Just to show you the pattern. Lord, 200 denarii wouldn't buy enough to feed all of these people. It's insufficient. When you see the number 200, it's going to consistently be insufficiency. And if it doesn't look like it, think of why, and there will be a reason. Okay? Anyway, let's get back into this synthesis study. Why John the Baptist would have had long hair, Samuel would have had long hair, Samson had long hair, Absalom had long hair. So obviously, Paul is making a point about something else, and he's not speaking about those guys violating Scripture. Okay, it's not a shame on their head. All right, it's a wonderful passage, and we'll talk about that sometime. We already did. We've already done Corinthians, so you have to go back and watch that study. Okay,